In recent weeks, there's been growing debate and speculation about who might succeed Antonio Guterres when his term as United Nations Secretary General comes to an end. The UN Secretary General is essentially the world's diplomat-in-chief, entrusted with fostering international cooperation, managing and navigating global crises, and addressing some of humanity's most pressing issues. But there's a twist. The selection of the Secretary General isn't your typical political appointment. It's a process shrouded in diplomatic subtleties, bargaining, and international power plays. So how exactly does that play out? How is the Secretary General chosen, and what factors are considered in making that selection? Hey everyone, I'm Noah Zerbe. I'm a professor of global politics at California State Polytechnic University, Humboldt. Welcome to Global Explainer, where we explore the concepts and theories behind current events in global politics. The formal process of selecting the United Nations Secretary General is outlined in Article 97 of the UN Charter, which proclaims that the Secretary General shall be appointed by the General Assembly upon recommendation of the Security Council. But the informal or real process is far more nuanced. The real process begins with informal consultations between member states, particularly between the 5 permanent members of the United Nations Security Council, namely the United States, Russia, China, France, and the United Kingdom. Any country may nominate a candidate for the position by sending a letter to the Council, but an informal agreement in the United Nations rotates the position among the regional blocs, meaning that the next Secretary General will likely come from the Latin America and Caribbean region. To avoid wasting time or humiliating potential candidates, the Security Council generally meets in an informal session to discuss potential candidates and evaluate their support in the body. It's at this stage, without ever needing a formal vote or veto, that the P5, the permanent 5 members of the Security Council, usually exercise their power and block any potential candidates from consideration they oppose, though sometimes countries may force a vote knowing a candidate will be vetoed, a political maneuver sometimes employed by members of the Council. Once the Security Council has settled on a candidate, they formally adopt a resolution transmitting that candidate's name to the General Assembly. Once it receives the nomination, the General Assembly meets to consider the candidacy and, if they're in agreement with the Council, will pass a resolution affirming the appointment. Secretaries General usually serve a 5-year term, and many are reappointed to a second 5-year term if they continue to have the confidence of the body. For example, the current Secretary General, Antonio Guterres, was appointed to his first term in 2017 and was subsequently reappointed to a second term in 2022. By tradition, no Secretary General has ever served more than 2 terms. So, who are the frontrunners in this global competition? As of now, some major names have emerged, each bringing their own unique qualifications and visions to the table. Right now, I think the frontrunner has to be Mia Mottley, the current Prime Minister of Barbados. She's risen to international preeminence following her election and subsequent re-election as Prime Minister in 2018, and she's made herself a name by working to sever Barbados's post-colonial ties to the British monarchy, as well as for her forceful calls for reparations for slavery, increasing international efforts to mitigate and adapt to climate change, and for her calls for dramatic reforms to the international financial institutions, the World Bank and the IMF chief among them. Given this, Mottley would likely be a popular choice for UN Secretary General, particularly among UN reformers and member states in the global south. But this could also undermine her support among some of the P5 countries, so it's going to be a difficult balancing act for her to maintain that support while avoiding a potential veto by a country like the United States or others. Other leading contenders at the moment include former Colombian President and Nobel Peace Laureate Juan Manuel Santos and Argentinian diplomat and Director General of the International Atomic Energy Agency Rafael Gossing. While both are well-seasoned diplomats and political leaders, there's considerable pressure on the United Nations to choose its first woman to head the organization. Many observers were really disappointed that a female candidate was not selected when Guterres was elected in 2017, even though he's made achieving gender equity in the organization a key priority of his tenure. This time around, though, I think the pressure is going to be even greater to select a female Secretary General. A few long shot candidates have also been suggested, though I think for right now it's Motley whose name generates the most excitement. But that's it for now. Please like this video if you found it helpful, and subscribe to catch future explainers as I release them. Please leave any questions you have in the comments section below, and I'd welcome any suggestions for future explainer topics as well. Thanks for watching, everyone. Have a good day. Bye.